Hello, YouTube fans, and welcome to episode 15 of Double Down Double A, with, of course, moi, your host, Double A, along with
the Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams.
But of course, you already know that.
That's the Lady Killer's gimmick. Let's not steal that.
Yeah. Okay. This week. Remember last week we were here talking about the most shit-tastic gimmicks of all times? This is in
I remember.
Yeah.
I was here. I remember.
I'm telling YouTube fans, just in case you didn't see last week's episode.
Well, according to this stat here, Stat Boy approved, 155 people saw last week's episode, so thank you.
Okay. We're trying to get a bigger fan base here. This is, in our opinion, the best gimmicks of all time.
Okay. For
some reason whatsoever, they were getting over with the fans. It has nothing to do with their in-ring capabilities, because some people I haven't here got shit-tastic capabilities, but that's a totally different story right there.
Okay.
And this is an actual order this time. This is not where I actually took time to write them down.
So you used to sit along people doing lists that decide to put shit in no particular order.
Yeah. Top 10 is a number 10 on my list.
Okay.
Is actually a two-way tie.
Okay.
And they're both for the same exact reason. You got the salt side and the pepper side. Two-way tie. The Junkyard Dog JYD and the American Dream Dusty Rose, baby.
In public, if you will.
If you will. Excuse me while I grab a sip out of my vodka. I mean my water, if you will. They both had charisma. They both had pretty good in-ring capabilities. One best to look at, but their personality and the way they got over with the fans. I mean, like right neck and neck with each other. You know? Matter of fact, I think I was watching on one of the Legends where JR compared the two. You know, he pretty much said what I said: the salt side and pepper side. You know, of wrestling and of charisma.
Okay, I can feel that.
This one is somebody that's more famous in the indie circuit, but. Boom, boom, Colt Cabana, boom, boom, Colt Cabana, boom, boom.
Scotty Goldman.
Whoa.
No, Colt Cabana. I didn't really care for the Scotty Goldman character, but Colt Cabana, very, very cool individual, very laid back. He's very good with fans. He has a way with working a crowd. I mean, over on ROH, Championship Wrestling of Hollywood, wherever you want to put him. Fans just love him. You know, as soon as he steps in the ring, people start chanting his name, and he just eats it right up, man.
Yep.
Plays right into it.
Colt's an awesome talent, good person, good gimmick.
Oh yes. Number 8 on my list. Somebody that you and I have met before. Somebody that's he's a WWE Hall of Famer, and without him, there will be no Del Rios. Without him, there will be no JBLs, and we're talking about the $1 Million Man himself, Ted DiBiase.
Also, without him, there'd be no Virgils.
True. Because both those gimmicks I just mentioned before, they each had a Virgil at one point or another. You know, JBL had
OJ,
and not OJ Simpson. He didn't kill his wife because, oh yeah, he's gay. Yes, I'm
not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, it's not. It's just.
Damn it, you're gonna get us in trouble here and shit.
Damn it.
Then, of course, you got, you know, Del Rio with
Ricardo Rodriguez.
Yes, he's so much of a Virgil. He wears Del Rio's face on his dun-da-duns.
Don't forget Ted DiBiase Jr., who actually had Virgil for a cup of coffee.
I didn't forget that. But he's a very chill individual. We met him about a year and a half ago.
Yep.
This man had story after story after story for us. Very, very easy to talk to. I remember I talked him into doing his patented laugh for us, and he had to get out of, because it was at a church, he had to get out of preacher mode and get into $1 Million Man mode, cleared his throat and roared out with it. It's like, now the funny thing about that laugh is, like, ooh, let's hear this one. That one just came strictly by accident. We're doing vignettes for every wrestling market out there, and you know, we'll be in the studio for 6 hours a day cutting promos for each market that we're coming up on. And Vince just happened to be walking by the sound studio one day when I did that laugh. He goes, "Okay, every time you talk, I want you to do that laugh." And that laugh stuck with him ever since. Number 7 on my list.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm going to catch some heat on this one. And if he wasn't so much of a botchamaniac, you know, he'd be fucking awesome. He had the look, he had the size, has everything going for him, and that's the Animal Batista. Like I said, if he wasn't so much of a botchamaniac, pre-injury he was
on fire, yeah.
But he had the look, he had the size, he got over
that gay ass belly button tattoo. Again, not that there's anything wrong with gay people, but you look at that jacked up animal, that beast Batista, and then that little bitty tattoo around his belly button.
Okay, the tramp stamp.
A little cum si cum sa if you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Okay, the tramp stamp kind of killed it. Yeah, I get it.
I was like, how am I supposed to take you seriously, dude? You've got a belly button tattoo.
Okay, minus that. And minus his botchamania.
There's going to be some that you're probably going to give me shit for, so let's just
agree
to disagree on Batista.
Okay, number 6 on my list, I know he should be higher up there, but, and Pinky's going to love this one, The Undertaker.
Okay.
For, was it 20 some odd years running now? I mean, minus the time when he was the badass.
Mm-hmm.
He's been the dead man.
Yeah.
Even when he was a badass, he was still calling himself Dead Man Inc. or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been the dead guy for 20 some odd years, and he's still getting over as that.
Say hello to the dead guy.
Dead.
Making little kids cry.
Yeah.
This one is an actual faction. My number 5 on the list. D-Generation X.
Well, break it down.
Okay.
I mean, they kept people entertained. They were risky. They were funny. They kicked people's ass. Hell, the antics ensued alone on the McMahon family.
True.
Alone, right there, was made it worth watching wrestling.
Okay.
Next on my list is another faction. Does this ring a bell?
It does, actually.
Woo! The Four Horsemen. Any conglomeration of the four. Well, take out McMichaels and, throw Jeff Jarrett in there if you can, but no.
Jeff Jarrett was bad for a horseman.
But I really care for McMichaels.
I didn't care for McMichaels either, but at least he had the intimidation factor going for him. He could be that muscle. Jeff Jarrett back in those days with the long blonde hair and the straps down here. It's like, nah, dude. You need to take your ass over to Chippendales. You don't belong in the Horsemen. The Jeff Jarrett of late WCW, you know, Slapnuts, whatever, into TNA Jeff Jarrett, that Jeff Jarrett, maybe could have been a good fit for the Horsemen. But the long blonde hair, the goofy smile, nah, dude, nah. That Jeff Jarrett was no.
Okay.
No Jeff Jarrett in the Horsemen here. No.
Next on my list is Scotland's own, the Hot Rod, Rowdy Piper. Great wrestler, great technician,
Okay.
great mic worker. He's been getting over as a hot rod, as a heel or a face ever since he debuted, pretty much. I mean, it still works for him to this day. When he comes out to do Piper's Pit, people just
Go ape shit.
yeah. And there's one person that's been part of this, you know, the former resident here that, you know, you can't peel the smile off of her face whenever he pops up on television.
Yes.
You know, and from my understanding, you met him once or twice. He seemed to be very chill, and
I have had the honor and distinct pleasure of meeting the Hot Rod 3 times, and every time nothing but a class act.
going from a badass from yesteryear to a badass of today.
Okay.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What?
I said Stone Cold.
What?
I said the rattlesnake.
What?
Say what again? I'm gonna stunner you from here to Timbuktu.
What?
And Pinky kind of touched on this earlier, where it's just spitballing. The biggest mistake Eric Bischoff ever did was fire this man right here.
Believe that.
The black tights, the black boots would never get you over.
Okay.
What?
Yet they had Goldberg in black tights and black boots,
And he got over.
being a carbon copy, basically, of Stone Cold, because Stone Cold was so fucking over.
But you know why? That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
The only thing Goldberg didn't do was come out in a freaking black leather vest toasting beers and shit. Otherwise, it was a freaking clone of Stone Cold.
When Goldberg first hit the market, we used to call him Stone Cold Bill Goldberg because, you know, but he started getting over, you know, totally different. People started looking away from the Stone Cold look and just start looking at this dominant individual, which I'm surprised did not make my list, but...
And now you've got Ryback.
That's one person I would love to bring back in the Fed, is Goldberg.
Goldberg and Ryback? As long as it doesn't go anything like the Goldberg-Brock Lesnar match of WrestleMania 20.
That match doesn't exist. I mean, that match shouldn't be talked about, just like the B word in the Federation. But you know, we could say the B word on the D18 Studios, right?
Batista?
No, not that B word.
Alundra Blaze?
No, not that B word.
Blue World Order?
No, Benoit.
Oh, okay.
Dark.
Damn, you know, freaking WWE is so brainwashed me, I barely remembered his name.
Shut up.
Even though I just mentioned it on yesterday's episode of Renegade of Wrestling.
Number one on my list.
Okay.
Should be nobody's surprise. He's always been one of my favorite wrestlers. And that is... You smell it?
Something. I smell something.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking, shit, like I said, shouldn't be no surprise. The most electrifying man in sports entertainment today, the Brahma Bull, the People's Champ, the eyebrow raising, you know, yes, The Rock. I mean, shit. My man still got it. That's all I got to say.
Yes, he does.
My man still got it. I mean, the heart of he was pretty much, him and Stone Cold were the nucleus of the Attitude Era. There's a reason why they made number 1 and number 2.
Yeah.
They innovated what the wrestling business is today. I mean, they capitalized it so much to where I don't think anybody could top what those two did back in the mid 90s.
No.
Or even come close to it.
Orton and Cena have tried, but it's just not going to happen.
No.
Because Orton draws many comparisons to the Rattlesnake, being as how he's the better worker, the more technically sound out of the two, and the Viper, the Rattlesnake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Cena, of course, is always drawing comparisons to The Rock because they're more flashy, more entertaining, better on the microphone, more charismatic. But you got lightning in a bottle once. Dare I say you got lightning in a bottle twice, because back in the 80s you had Hogan and Warrior. And then you had Austin and Rock. You can't be that lucky that many times. They've tried really hard, but they haven't succeeded.
Yeah, I totally agree. And very quickly, I'm going to run through some honorable mentions.
Okay.
Mainly is because I was thinking about them, I just couldn't figure out where to put them in there.
Okay.
Matter of fact, some of them were up here, then I had to switch them to get,
Other people in?
Yeah. Let's see. I got a particular Mankind. It was the Mankind, to me, it was the Mankind when he first debuted up until they turned him face.
So the 1996 era, brown tights, brown shirt, coming out, rocking back and forth in the corner, ripping his hair out.
Have a nice day!
Uncle Paul.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
Mankind, Triple H.
Okay.
Now
you say Triple H. Are we talking Hunter Hearst Helmsley?
Fuck that guy.
Are we talking Degenerate? Are we talking the Cerebral Assassin?
Degenerate, the Degenerate on up to
today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even the corporate Triple H is still a badass.
The corporate Triple H was fucking a bitch. I just want to touch here real quick. The thing that never made sense to me about the corporation, and specifically Triple H, was that here was Triple H and The Rock, who had had a long-standing rivalry since February '97. Hell, even going back to Rocky's debut at the Survivor Series '96. And for a month, they were both in the corporation at the same time. Because Triple H joined the corporation at WrestleMania 15 while Rocky was already
I wasn't talking about that corporate Triple H. I was talking about the corporate. The
real corporate.
Yes.
Okay, the man behind the scenes.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay. Got to be a little bit more specific, because Triple H was a member of the corporation.
The guy that came out, the guy that would come out and make special appearances and,
Okay.
and announce matches.
My apologies for not understanding, but that's something that always... You know what really grinds my gears, people? That never made sense to me. It's like, y'all have been feuding with each other, even going up to like the Raw going into WrestleMania 15. Now y'all are on the same fucking side? What the hell? Anyway, sorry about that little diatribe. Continue.
Another one that I got on here is Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Okay.
Because the very reason why, because for the past 30 years, he faltered and turned heel once in the WCW, but he pretty much kept true to that same gimmick that ho, with the exception of going USA, 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 with the exception when he was turned heel, he was going Canada, Canada.
I told you the time I got into it with him, right?
You got into it with him?
When he was in WCW and he was heel. The one show I went to for WCW, Long Beach Arena, 2000, he was heel, and he's starting to come back up the ramp after doing his little shtick or whatever with Team Canada. I started cussing him out because I was third row. I was still a mark. I didn't really, know all the ins and outs yet. I was calling him a fucking turncoat and a bitch for turning his back on this country. He got all up into my grill like he was gonna swing on me and shit.
Oh man.
Like I ran home to watch Thunder because I thought they were gonna show, during the commercial break and show him like going off on me in my face and me going off on him, but nah, that shit never made air. Fucking WCW.
You guys,
That was TV gold.
what the fuck? You fuck ass, you don't suck a fuck. You guys like slept on the gold mine right there. Serious. Another on this list because just like The Rock and Stone Cold in the 90s, this man did it along with the Hot Rod in the 80s. Made wrestling what it is today, and that's the Hulkster himself.
Brother.
A Hollywood Hulk, or the real American, or the immortal one himself.
What about Mr. America?
No, fuck that guy. But those other three, yeah. The Hulkster himself, but innovated wrestling to what it is today for the 80s. And
For better, for worse.
And last but not least on my honorable mentions, had a great gimmick, but just like the Animal, if he wasn't so much of a botchamaniac, he probably would have went on to become a world champion, maybe the first African American world champion in WWF, and that's Ahmed Johnson.
Okay. I always liked Ahmed Johnson. Me and Pinky were talking about this in the green room a couple days ago. We were talking about Harlem Heat. And, Big T in Harlem Heat, that was just fucking fail. But Ahmed Johnson, Intercontinental Champion, he was badass. I really liked him. The Pearl River Plunge. His theme song has always been one of my favorite theme songs.
Kuwaiti champion.
But I just never really understood why the Machine didn't get behind him.
Because he was a botchamaniac.
Okay, but look at how many times Batista's been world champion.
But
look at how many times Ultimate Warrior's been world champion.
But they weren't as injury prone as Ahmed. He caused just as many injuries as he was getting.
Rey Mysterio, 3-time world champion. I've had surgery 5 times on my left knee.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you make a valid argument, but then there's the counterpoint.
I'm sorry, YouTube fans.
Your little arms are too small to box with God.
Oh, jeez.
You're not Punk. You're not Punk.
But I'm still better than you.